So far, this channel has mainly been focused on Five Nights at Freddy's and internet horror. One day, I asked myself what would happen if we combined those two ideas, and that's just FNAF VHS. Since its blow up in popularity in July of 2019, the Five Nights at Freddy's VHS genre has had countless creators show off their interpretations of FNAF through the lens of analog found footage. Recently, though, a certain series has stuck out to me personally. About a year and a half ago, on April 16th of 2022, Spectre released a video called The Salvage FNAF VHS, kickstarting one of the best FNAF VHS series to ever exist. And today, we're gonna go over each video in the series in release order, and then at the end I'll have another portion trying to figure out what the hell is going on. If you've been on the channel before, welcome back. If not, hello. My name is Minaxa, and today we're going to dive into the fascinating world of Spectre's FNAF VHS. Before we continue, I'd like to take a quick minute to talk about this video's sponsor, Factor. Factor is a meal delivery service that sends you fresh and never frozen meals right to your door that can be microwaved and eaten in as little as 2 minutes. If you're the type of person who struggles to figure out what they're going to eat and ends up ordering expensive and unhealthy food delivery, this is perfect for you. Since I work from home, sometimes I'm a little too busy or lazy to actually make a proper meal. I found that their food was perfectly convenient for me, and it actually tasted pretty good. I ate it in like 5 minutes. Factor gives me more time to dedicate to making the videos you guys love, and I still get to eat good. The meal selection has plenty of options that change weekly, and also has accommodations for keto and vegetarian/vegan diets. There's really something for everybody. If I made you hungry, head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code minaxa50 to get 50% off your first Factor box. The first tape, as I said earlier, is called The Salvage. In this tape, we follow a new Fazbear Entertainment employee recording his after-hours salvage job.
Alright, is this thing on?
The video description gives the tape a date, October 29th, 1986. The employee claims the quote-unquote new location is meant to open sometime in June of the next year, which means we already have an idea as to what part of the FNAF timeline we've been placed in. It's somewhere before Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
So, the boss wanted me to come in a bit later than usual to do some after-hours salvaging on the older animatronics. Essentially, we're going to see if we can reuse as many parts as we can that'll go on to be used for the newer models. But Bob told me when he went to go do the hands and the mouth that it's really nothing more than just a few audio clips played from a tape recorder. So boss said to record me doing it as well for archive purposes and also to have some proof that I actually did it. And so, let's see what's in here.
So now we've been introduced to two new characters. Bob, another employee who started the job on this particular animatronic, and a boss. Apparently the reason for the recording is for archival purposes and for proof that the job was done.
Oh shit, found my keys. Jesus, dark in here. Lights right now. Oh, Jesus! Ah!
Well, now we know that the animatronic that we're talking about is Chica, and Bob probably was the one who took the hands already. After a bit of investigation, our protagonist begins to do his work, and we hear a familiar voice.
All we gotta do is play it, so let's see what we got.
Congratulations on completing your first day. However, your job isn't over just yet.
Oh, really now?
There is another aspect to your end-of-day routine.
We know now that this salvage job bears almost identical resemblance to that which the player performs in Pizzeria Simulator. This also implies that, at least within Spectre's interpretation of the universe, these tapes were recorded decades before their use in that game's location. The first audio prompt does actually produce a reaction, as does the second, with Chica lifting both of her arms upwards into what should be a horribly familiar position.
Document results.
Alright, so same thing with the right arm, so that's another yes. Okay.
Then we move on to audio prompt 3.
document results.
Okay, looks like nothing moved that time. Guess that's a no then. Alright.
Begin audio prompt in 3, 2...
Okay, well I guess that counts. I guess that counts, so you know what, fuck it. Alright. I'm just marking it as sure for now. Alright, so the eyes moved and then holy fuck! Jeez.
So far, we've had reactions in varying degrees to all 3 prompts. The next few prompts don't seem to do very much, and we get a few relatable lines from our understandably disturbed protagonist.
Keep my damn eye on this fucking thing.
And then we get to the final audio prompt.
Okay, last one. Last one.
Begin audio prompt in 3, 2, 1.
Whoa, hold on a second. What the fuck? Whoa, what the fuck?
So bad I can't breathe.
What the fuck is that? What the fuck? Oh, fuck this fucking shit. Okay, we can do this. Come on. Oh no. Oh no. No. Where the what the fuck? Where the fuck did it go? What the fuck is that? What the? No.
So, we can assume that our cameraman probably just died. Strangely, it seemed that Chica actually teleported behind him, which shows that we may be getting more supernatural aspects in this series' FNAF continuity. The next entry in Spectre's FNAF VHS is Maintenance Report. As suggested by the title, this footage depicts another Fazbear employee running through a list of maintenance procedures on a clipboard that he's been provided by the boss, allegedly the same character as from the previous one. The date on the tape is labeled March 15th, 1986. Therefore, this takes place before the salvage. The tape begins with a movement test. The test is performed by connecting the animatronic to a computer and inserting discs that have the test procedures stored onto them. From there, you can freely control the animatronic by typing in certain prompts. He starts with the head.
Start with the head movements first, H-A-E, and then we'll just go down the rest of the body. Okay, well then, looks like the neck and jaw joints are functioning normally, so I'm gonna put this camera down real quick so I can. Huh, that's strange. I guess there's some kind of circuit malfunction.
It almost looked like Bonnie was looking at him. How strange. Definitely just my imagination.
Okay, so just checking the circuits now on the back of the head here. They might be shorted. Thankfully, I'm not repairing this piece of junk, so I guess I'll just leave everything how it is and move on to the next joint.
He then moves on to the ears, but they don't seem to work, supposedly because of the circuit board shortage. Then he checks the arms.
Okay, that seems to be working fine. Great, at least we can salvage something from the endoskeleton. So let's try the other one now. Jesus Christ!
Though one of them snapped, the other was perfectly fine, so he salvaged it, along with the guitar. Then he tests the hips, and then the legs. Now he's ready to move on to step 2, which is the salvaging of any fabric that isn't damaged.
The new animatronic models will be made from a plastic mold. This means we will need to salvage as many pieces of the fabric layer as possible, the most important of which are the hard-to-replicate features such as the head, face, hands... Oh, Jesus! Why is... Oh. Right. Forgot to turn the computer off. Whew. Okay, so, anyways, it sounds like I'm just salvaging the exterior layer now.
It moved towards him on its own, but surely it's just because he forgot to turn off the computer. After that little scare, he proceeds to finish salvaging all of the fabric he can, and at this point, the animatronic should look a little more familiar. It's Withered Bonnie.
As you can see down there. So I figured out that the headpiece still wouldn't budge because it's completely glued to the back of the head, which is very unusual. So if I were to try and force it off, it'll most likely tear in unpredictable directions and make the entire thing unsalvageable. But they did make it sound like they only wanted the actual face of the animatronic, so that's down there along with everything I managed to physically scrap from this thing. So we are done with that then.
From here, the employee can proceed to step 3, an odor report? Well, just like in the last tape, the things that have been progressively showing signs of odd activity are about to catalyze.
Torso of the animatronic. What the? Damn it, not again. Huh, I guess the power went out. Yeah, I might have tripped a breaker or something with all that computer commotion. Alright, let's go turn the power back on and hopefully finish up. What the? Hey! Let me out, guys! This isn't funny! Guess let me finish up real quick with the dart. Where'd it go? Oh, really? Right now? Come on, come on! Oh, what? What the fuck? Why is it? Oh, God. What the fuck? What the fuck? What? Jesus Christ, what was that?
After this, we have what I believe to be the strongest episode of the series thus far, and that is Paranormal Investigation. Paranormal Investigation opens similarly to the other entries, but this time the individual recording is not a Fazbear employee, but rather an independently contracted paranormal investigator.
I got a call from a kid's restaurant manager saying that they've been experiencing some weird paranormal activity.
The date on this one is August 19th, 1985, which places it pretty far before the other two videos. We learn from his monologue that he has been hired by a manager of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and the location is placed in a strip mall. This specific location was opened approximately 5 years ago, and it's also implied that there may be more than one location, which is probably suggesting the existence of Fredbears, maybe not a separate Freddy's. The manager also left behind a list of incidents that caused them to make the call to him in the first place.
They reported that mysterious and disembodied voices can be heard all throughout the restaurant. Company property, particularly the animatronics themselves, will often move around the restaurant during the night, even when the power to the building is shut off completely. Sometimes said property will mysteriously disappear and then reappear a day or so later. And then this is one of the incidents they were telling me about, where basically a bunch of kids came running out of the bathroom crying because they saw, quote, someone else staring at them in the mirror, and that they were speaking in a language they didn't understand. A few employees will often feel a tense presence when working on or next to the animatronics, particularly at night. Night shift workers have reported seeing children, usually one at a time, walk around the restaurant after hours when the doors are locked. When they go to assess the situation and figure out how the child accidentally got locked in, they are nowhere to be found, and some have even disappeared in full view of a few employees. When checking the security camera footage, these children seem to range in age and sex, but will consistently look between the ages of 6 and 11. And that's all she wrote. So,
since the list was apparently written by a woman, the manager who called cannot possibly be William or Henry or likely anyone that we should already be familiar with.
So, let's see what's up with this place. Okay, so the power to the building should be cut entirely. Alright, that seems to be the case.
The investigator instructed the manager to turn off all of the power so that any lights or temperature changes couldn't be attributed to electricity, among other reasons. And the front door seemed to have been left unlocked for him to enter.
Okay. So I was told that all of their animatronic characters should be on stage and shut down, and there seems to be one missing.
He goes to the center of the main room, and though Freddy seems to be mysteriously absent from his given position, he gets to work and sets up his equipment.
Getting a few blips here and there, but nothing pretty substantial yet. Oh, here we go. I think we got something right here.
The EMF reader gets its highest signal when near and directly pointed towards the stage, which is obvious to us, but not to him. Then he activates the spirit box in an attempt to contact the spirits that he's detected.
Alright, if there's anyone in the room with me right now, please make your presence known. I mean you no harm. I just need to know if anyone can hear me right now. My name is Sean. Can you say my name back to me?
Sean.
Whoa, shit, here we go. Okay, just so I can make sure that wasn't a coincidence, can you say my name again?
Sean.
Alright, thank you. So now that I know that I'm speaking to someone, can you tell me your name?
Susie.
Susie. Did I hear you say Susie?
Yes.
Okay, hi Susie. Is there anyone else in the room with me right now, or is it just me and you?
They're here.
They're here. Do you remember how you died? I'm not here to hurt you in any way, Susie. I just want to understand what happened to you and why you're here. If you're uncomfortable telling me...
Murder.
Murder? Who murdered you?
Bonnie.
Bunny? You were murdered by a bunny? Alright then. How did this bunny kill you?
Knife.
A knife? Susie, was this a person dressed like a bunny?
Yes.
Holy shit. Hold up, I have to make sure the camera got that. Restaurant owners said that they had operated here for 5 years straight and the paranormal activity didn't start happening until after this July. So this may have been something that happened pretty recently. But I have no idea what that actually means though. Maybe an employee decided he or she had enough, maybe some crack job snuck in here with a bunny suit on, or maybe the spirit's just lying to me. I have no idea. I'll have to show this to the restaurant owners to see if maybe they caught something like that on the security cameras. But let me just say that these responses are certainly not unusual in a place like this. Also, what's surprising to me is how direct they are. They're fairly coherent and understandable, and I'm getting them within a pretty short amount of time, which is usually a clear sign that I'm actually speaking to someone. But anyways, let's see if we can make contact again.
So, it's clear now that this story really is going off of at least somewhat established FNAF lore. We have Susie, one of the children we're familiar with, and a murderer who used a bunny costume to lure in children.
I don't know if the camera caught that, but I think I just heard a chair move. Look, right there. That's at least where the sound came from. Are you sitting down right here? Off. Do you want the flashlight off? Okay, those are brand new batteries. There's no way my flashlight just died. Yeah, look at that. It still works. Now that the flashlight's off, will you talk to me now? Off again? What else do you want me to turn off? Alright, let's go ahead and turn the spirit box off for now. Alright, I turned the noise off. Whoever you are, I'm not trying to hurt you. I just want to have a conversation with you. Can you tell me where you are right now? The fuck is that noise? What the fuck is that? Hello? I don't know if the camera could see that, but I for sure just saw a head stick out and move over there. There should be no one here but me. So I'm gonna have to re-watch the footage to get a better look at whatever the hell that just was. But it looked like a silhouette of a person standing next to these pinball machines. This person definitely wasn't as tall as me, so maybe it was an apparition of one of the children the night guards keep. What the fuck?
After this, he makes sure to check his camera to see if he actually captured all of that footage. After confirming, he decides that it's about time to pack up his equipment and come back another night, until this happens.
If not, then I'm probably gonna call it quits for tonight. Holy shit. Hello? That's gotta be one of the children. Look at that. Now she's gone. Hold up. Let me grab the case so I can see what that's about. Oh.
Since he found the displaced animatronic that he had been wondering about earlier, he figures now is a better time than any to try and perform some tests to see if the spirits are controlling the animatronics themselves. He sets up an ovulus, which is a device meant for more direct contact with the paranormal, and begins the procedure.
Alright. Is there anyone in the room with me right now? I just want to know if someone else is in here with me. Did someone here move the...
I am
You are? Okay, good. What's your name?
Gabriel.
Gabriel. Alright. Hi, Gabriel. Can you tell me roughly where you are in the room?
There.
Bear. So you're saying you're in front of the bear?
Inside.
Inside. Are you the one who moved the bear in here? Gabriel, why are you possessing the animatronics here? I'm not gonna assume you're doing
Trapped.
it... Trapped? How did you get trapped in that thing? Okay, well, if you're still troubled by what happened to you, then I guess we can skip those questions. If it means you'll keep talking to me. Okay. Do you remember how you died, Gabriel?
Murder.
There it is again. Murder. That's exactly what Susie said. Do you remember who murdered you, Gabriel?
Him.
Him? What do you mean, him, Gabriel? Do you remember his name? Gabriel, whether you're trying to or not, you're causing a lot of problems for the people who own this place. Now, if you help me
He
out...
must die.
Will pay.
I assume you're talking about your killer. I don't know if I'm going to kill him, per se, but I'm willing to find him and make him pay for what he did to you and Susie. Now, just tell me what you remember of him. Did you catch a glimpse of him, maybe? Do you remember what he looked like? What he was wearing?
Purple.
Purple. Okay, purple. Well, at least that's something. I was told by the restaurant owner that the employees here wear purple outfits. Did this person look like he worked here, maybe?
Yes.
Yes. Interesting. Did you ever see his face? Can you describe it to me?
No. Too dark.
No, too dark. Okay, so it must have been too dark to make out the facial features, I guess. Alright, so one last thing I want to ask before I go. I was talking to another spirit here named Susie, and she mentioned something about someone in a bunny suit. Does that sound familiar to you? Gabriel, are you still there?
Get out.
Get out? Why? Why do you want me to leave, Gabriel?
Get out. Get out.
Have I said something to upset you?
Get out.
What the fuck? Why did this just go out? What the fuck? Whoa, what the fuck? Holy shit! No, come on.
So, it seems like a trend so far to end these videos with the person recording the footage being killed. But this time we actually get to see another human character recover said footage. I'll explain what happened here, or at least what I think happened here in the analysis portion. With that being said, now we can finally move on to the final, longest, and most confusing entry as of this video, Police Archive. Police Archive opens with a conversation between two FBI agents and a local investigator and police sergeant. They're gathered to discuss a series of serial murders. The first incident they discuss is the events that took place in the previous video. The police story went as follows. Since the doors were meant to be unlocked for Sean, a thief or some sort of suspicious individual made their way inside, panicked when they saw Sean, and murdered him to cover their own tracks, since they were trying to steal. They came to this conclusion because witnesses who lived near the mall all noted what sounded like a shotgun shot at around 2:30 in the morning that night coming from the mall. They also collected blood samples from the scene and noticed that the glass from the window fell outside and not inside, implying a shotgun shot from an individual still inside the building.
We did manage to find a small blood sample on the ground as well as fingerprints off the victim's equipment, confirming that this was him and he had indeed been murdered. However, we found nothing giving us any idea of who the actual killer was. So we asked the company if they might have caught the event on camera. Their response was that Mr. Roberts had requested that the building's power be shut off and that the building's entrance doors be unlocked for him to enter. So, with the prospect of literally anybody being able to enter the building at any time, nobody could exactly prove that the company itself was involved, so...
The second incident was similarly missing a body and also occurred on the Freddy's Pizzeria premises, this time involving an actual employee. The police obviously asked the company if they had any security footage, and they did. However, since the building's power randomly shut off around the time window for which Matthew, that employee, would go missing, this was of no help. There's no proof. The third incident finally led the police to be incredibly suspicious, as it could hardly be attributed to coincidence anymore. Jacob Carter, the new hire who attempted to salvage Chica, had also gone missing without a trace at Freddy's. This time, when asked to provide security footage, it had quote-unquote mysteriously disappeared. The next bit of information we learn is very interesting. In this timeline, at the very least, the police are only aware of 4 missing children and not 5. These are Gabriel Martin, Susie and Jeremy Collins, and Fritz Robinson. Cassidy is missing. On top of that, the police actually arrested a suspect of an entirely different crime from a separate incident that happened the night before this conference, and that suspect quietly and cleanly turned himself in and confessed to the murders of all 7 known individuals. However, this seemed almost a little too good to be true.
All I'm saying is that there could be more to this case than was immediately apparent. Could be parts of this that we don't know or aren't seeing quite yet.
Well, unfortunately the court doesn't care about could-bes. They're only concerned about what we can prove. Now, is there anything else you haven't shown us yet that proves these claims more broadly?
There is one thing, and it's another major reason we brought you guys in. One of our officers managed to record the whole ordeal that happened last night. However, there are definitely parts of this tape that we cannot show to the public. At least not yet.
All right, Dad. Show us what you got.
The following footage is a recording of the incident that occurred the night before, in which they caught the suspect they were referring to. The ordeal began with these 2 police officers seemingly trying to track down a group or individual on the run. After they find this truck, which seems to fit the description that they were given, they run the plate number, and it comes back positive for an ongoing stolen rental truck investigation. Though the woman over the line does note that several units have pointed out a brand logo on the side of the truck. So they basically just need to confirm whether or not the people driving the truck are actually those who own it or not, as it may be a simple misunderstanding. So the next logical step is for the police to pull them over.
All right, let's pull them over.
How are you guys doing this evening? Alright, my name is Officer Dale. May I see the keys to the truck? truck, please? Well, there's a bolo, or be on the lookout for this particular model of vehicle. Now, I ran your plate just now, and my dispatcher told me that this vehicle was reported stolen by a rental service. Well, I mean, this looks to be y'all's vehicle, so, I'm not gonna assume anything, right? You know how companies like to make shit up all the time so you can rip people off, you know? Alright, well, let's see if we can get this figured out. You have your license and registration on you? Perfect. I assume this is a commercial vehicle? Okay, let's see you got your license for that. Alright, let me go ahead and rerun this stuff and see if we can get this issue squared away, alright? Alright, sit tight for me.
You mind follow this in for me? I'm gonna take care of the registration out here so I can keep an eye on them.
Yeah, sure thing.
Ready for the details?
License number is gonna be 126-26679. That's 126-26679. First name Oscar, last name Master. M-A-S-T-E-R.
I'm not coming up with anything. Can I get a 10-9 on the number?
126-26679.
It might be a false ID. Description sounds familiar, so they might be the guys the other unit saw.
Well, they seem to be acting pretty calm pulling something like this, but I'll tell my partner and we'll bring him in. Thanks for the help.
The driver's license given to the officer turns out to be fake, which is remarkable considering how calmly the suspects in the truck have been handling the situation. The officers have no reasonable choice but to arrest the man driving since his ID is fake. However, when they return to the side of the vehicle...
Step out of the vehicle for... Hey, where the hell's your friend? Daryl? 3 Echo 10, officer down, shots fired! Don't move! Show me your hands! Now! Drop what's in your hands and step out of the truck! You deaf motherfucker! I said!
What now? Just stick to the plan, come on. Daryl! Daryl, you still with me, buddy? God damn it, man. I'll make him fucking pay for this! This is 3 Echo 10. I got an officer down on 999 North. I need backup and immediate medical assistance. Over! Freda's busted too. Fuck!
Alright, think! I'm not that far from the city, so someone must have heard all of this. Wait a minute. Where'd the hell they go? Why didn't they just take off in the truck? Oh, they're up to something. They have to be.
So, we've just gotten a lot of new information right here. The truck is filled with all of the old withered animatronics, and for whatever reason, Foxy is the only one active and has specifically attacked the police officer and no one else. The other police officer seems to be dead, and the remaining one is now pursuing the suspects from the truck. His pursuit leads him to an abandoned mall, which he believes to have been constructed in the early 60s or 70s.
Jesus, this place definitely looks bigger on the inside. Architecture looks super retro, though. This place had to be built in like the late 60s to early 70s at least. I wonder if there's still... No way! How is there still power in this place?
After realizing that the mall somehow still has power, he has the hope that the phone lines might still be operational. If that was the case, he could direct back up to its location. He then finds a map, which leads him to an office a phone could be in.
Wait.
How long until the rest show up?
From where we are, it'll take him at least 5 to 10 minutes, but they don't even know we're here, so we've got time. They check here first. Will you quit your fucking bitching and hand me the pliers?
Ah, I see. They're scrappers.
It seems that he's run into the people he was trying to catch on the way to a phone. Unfortunately, it's almost inevitable that an altercation with them will begin before he can direct backup his way.
Okay, I got it. Open the bag. I heard that!
After accidentally making noise by stepping on a pile of glass, he gives away his position and shots are exchanged.
Hey! Who's that?
Oh, fuck it. MCPD! Hands up! Now!
How the fuck?
Since they realize it's just him, they decide to avoid taking the fight and just run away, which is pretty logical.
You guys think this is a fucking game? Come out with your hands up! Now!
What the hell?
Holy shit!
Jesus Christ.
I can't think of a reason as to why Foxy would have walked away from the officer here. I think this high-pitched noise, which is specifically noted in the subtitles, may have been a way to call the animatronic back to a certain location, since they seem to be able to control what it does. The footage cuts to him at the offices he had previously located, and with a little bit of luck he finds one with a phone, but has to bash a window in to open the locked door.
Yes! Still works. Alright, let's send in the cavalry.
Come on, pick up.
Yeah, this is Officer Mitchell Clyde, MCPD. We got shots fired at Northview Mall, east of I-99 North. I got 2 armed and dangerous suspects with machine pistols, both in all black and ski masks. Physical description unknown. My partner's down and unresponsive. I need backup and immediate medical assistance. This sound like a fucking prank call to you, lady? Both me and my partner's radios are busted. What do you want me to do? Thank God this phone still works, otherwise I'd have no way to reach you guys.
I think I heard something.
Ah, shit. Just give me some backup, damn it.
The scrappers hear him yelling over the phone as he's calling for backup and have now realized that he was able to get to a phone and call for said backup.
Chris!
What?
He's still alive! He got to one of the phones!
Ah, fucking shit. Alright, we've only got 3 more spots after this. We better hit those quick. Where's your robot?
I don't know. Try to call it back.
You know, I'm almost tempted to leave that useless piece of shit here.
We can't let the cops find it. It's gotta come with us.
Don't make me regret this. Come on, we're on the clock.
It seems like I was right about them being able to call the animatronic. Though I find it really interesting that one of the men refers to it as the other's robot, as if the other guy owns it. That man also seems to have a lot less of a regard for the animatronic, offering the idea of just leaving it behind, whereas the other man assures him that the police mustn't find it. So who are these men, really? After watching them turn the corner, the officer is probably super relieved, but Foxy is still behind him, and his verbal reaction to that fact gives away his location to them.
There he is!
Oh shit!
How you like that, you coward? Let's see you run.
In a last-ditch effort to stop the killer animatronic, realizing bullets won't work, he tries a taser, and hey, the taser works.
Didn't think that would actually work. About fucking time.
Freeze! Hands up!
Blue! Blue! Don't shoot! I'm with you guys!
Identify yourself.
Officer Mitchell Clyde, MCPD!
Wait, Clyde?
Yeah! Yeah, Sarge, it's me!
Holy shit. Stand down! He's with us!
Looks like backup is here. From there, Officer Clyde debriefs the sergeant on the situation and decides that he can still fight to help them catch the scrappers.
Bravo, Charlie, sweep this building. Let's smoke these guys out. The rest of you are on me. Let's move!
There he is! Hands up!
All units, got eyes on. Let me see your hands! Drop the gun!
Drop the gun and put your hands up! Drop the gun and show us your hands!
Alpha 1, how copy?
We're pinned down! Need assistance on the second floor!
He's down! Threat neutralized.
All units, suspect down. Repeat, suspect eliminated. Whoever took the shot, get hit. It was a clean kill.
Any idea where his friend might be?
I think that answers your question.
Fall in! On me!
Hey! Open the door!
Police department, come out with your hands up!
I can't! The door's stuck! I can't open it!
Hands up now! Face the wall! On your fucking knees!
What's your name? Identify yourself.
Henry Emily.
So, what's really going on here in this FNAF VHS series? We may be able to assume some things based on the existing story beats from Five Nights at Freddy's, but there's definitely a lot of unique stuff here, especially once we get to Police Archive. I want to try and put together a rough timeline of events and explain some stuff going on throughout it. Without further delay, let's begin. Spectre's FNAF VHS series seems to generally depict events that happen between FNAF 4 and FNAF 2. Until Police Archive, we could pretty easily connect events to points in the FNAF timeline, We know Henry, Emily, and William Afton must exist in this universe, so we should probably assume everything that happens before the first video to just be the normal agreed upon FNAF lore, until of course we're proven otherwise. First things first, the earliest events we explicitly get to see are that of Paranormal Investigation, which took place on August 19th, 1985. We know that this location opened 5 years prior in 1980 because we're told it explicitly, which leads me to believe that it's the Freddys that existed alongside Fredbear's but before FNAF 2. We know based on facts from the video that this is not the only Freddy's location existing, meaning at least one more is likely existing simultaneously alongside it. Like I just said, it's either another Freddy's or Fredbear's, but I would like to believe that it's Fredbear's. And the Paranormal Investigation is related to the missing children incident, seeing as we get the names Susie and Gabriel and etc., names that we're already familiar with. I'm gonna go forward under the assumption that the individual who shows up at the end of Paranormal Investigation is William Afton, since we have no reason to believe it isn't, but also no direct confirmation that it is, hence why I'm making this statement. Despite not being directly hired by William Afton, since that would be nothing but detrimental for him, he did know about Sean's investigation and when it would happen. Unfortunately, he was able to stop Sean before Sean was able to leak all of the details he learned about the incident. I hadn't talked about it yet, but the descriptions of each video offer some pretty unique insight into the events. The tape in Paranormal Investigation was confiscated by the FBI for a classified case, and released publicly 25 years later. This means that the tape was released for the public on August 19th, 2010, vastly broadening the scale at which Spectre's FNAF universe could possibly operate. I think it's also really interesting to note that it was confiscated, which means that William, in all his wisdom, held on to the tape rather than getting rid of the damning evidence. This doesn't really make any sense, but I can't think of any other thing to have happened. The fact that it had to be specifically confiscated by the FBI and wasn't just given to them because it was just in an office somewhere or something, I don't know, makes me feel that William did have it in his possession for whatever reason. Moving on to just over half a year after Sean's demise, we have the events of Maintenance Report taking place on March 15th, 1986. Based on the employee's words and the fact that he looks like Withered Bonnie by the end of the tape, we know this is unseen prep for the move to the Freddy's 2 location, that we didn't really get to see in any of the games. The employee responsible for this says that his quote-unquote boss told him to run through this checklist, which, if you have a keen eye, seems to have been specifically made to result in the death of whoever was to perform the maintenance report. Step 4 is even labeled as mandatory suicide. I think William Afton is probably the person who locked him in the room so that Bonnie would kill him. The description of this video tells us that this tape was recovered by police and released to the public after 22 years. This means that this tape was made public on March 15th, 2008. After half a year passes, we get to The Salvage, taking place on October 29th, 1986. In this instance, the employee specifically notes that the boss wanted him to record it for archival purposes. If we were to continue assuming William was the boss in question, it would be genuinely, once again, very strange to specifically want recorded proof of these incidents happening to employees under your company, since you'd essentially be purposefully creating evidence against the establishment you own in a case that already exists that you're responsible for. It seems really dumb, and I honestly don't have a good answer as to why this direct contradiction and seemingly illogical event would happen. This leaves us a few possibilities. It could be, as I said, William purposefully mounting evidence for whatever reason, whether it be some sick enjoyment he receives from it or just out of stupidity, or it could also be a completely random individual is the boss that we don't know of, or for some reason it could be Henry. Regardless of who the boss is, we don't have any good reason as to why they'd want these recorded, seeing as the work they do seems to pretty consistently become a death sentence. I mean, it's already happened twice. Anyways, this video serves to connect Henry's salvage tapes from Pizzeria Simulator. In this universe, they seem to be used for salvaging the withered animatronics. Unfortunately, past that, this tape doesn't actually tell us very much about the overall story, with the description being of little help as well. Now it's time for the moment you've all been waiting for. Police Archive. This is, by far, the biggest deviation from standard FNAF storytelling in the series, is more than twice the length of the average video runtime, and also dumps the most information onto us. I think this video is what makes Spectre's FNAF VHS stand out from all the others, even though I did say Paranormal Investigation is what I believe to be the strongest video. Most of the footage takes place on April 12, 1987, which is yet another half a year after the previous events in the Salvage, and seemingly only like a month before they were supposed to open the new FNAF 2 location in summer.
Hello and welcome to your new summer job at the new and improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
The beginning of the tape introduces us to 4 new characters. 2 of them are the FBI agents, Edwards and his partner Wallace, and the other 2 seem to be more local, with Detective William Bradley and the police sergeant David Miller. The conversation these men have at the beginning clarifies basically everything that has happened up until that point in the story. Like I just pointed out, it seems to be nothing but inconvenient that these incidents were recorded, and Fazbear Entertainment and Afton Robotics both deny having anything on record when asked by the police about these incidents. Something interesting that I'd like to point out as well that is very likely to be unrelated but not a coincidence is that Dave Miller, the name of the police sergeant, is the alias that William Afton operates under in the original novel trilogy. I don't think I have any strong evidence to support calling this anything more than an Easter egg, as this Dave Miller individual during this conference is specifically the person that points out that Henry is probably not the guy they're actually looking for, and then he would go out of his way to be like, oh, actually, that's too good to be true. We should look for a different person, you know? But I felt it was worth pointing out nonetheless. In terms of the actual police footage, this is where things get really damn confusing. Apparently, the truck that Henry and his accomplice are in has a mascot logo on it, which seems to imply that it was an official Fazbear Entertainment truck, though we don't actually get to see the side. Regardless, it's still reported stolen by a rental company. I also don't have much of an idea as to why the animatronics are in the truck or why they went to an abandoned mall to scrap parts, but if I had to guess, since the beginning of the video lets us know explicitly that Fazbear Entertainment has been drained of any money that they have to lawsuits, I think this was a last-ditch attempt to get free parts for animatronics at the new location, which was opening in like a month, which would explain Henry's involvement despite him not really seeming to want to be performing criminal acts. Seeing as the other accomplice is never named, seems to know a lot less about the animatronics, and is killed at the end of the altercation, I personally don't think that character is meant to be at any point a significant player in the story, but I could be wrong. As for the reason that Henry confessed to William's crimes after being caught, I don't really know the reason for that either. It would only really make sense if William was able to threaten or otherwise manipulate Henry, but as of the current videos in the series, we really don't have any idea what's going on, or maybe he was framed, I don't know. The description also doesn't offer us a crazy amount of insight, but it does say Mitchell Clyde, the officer we follow in this tape, works for the MCPD. That, combined with the info that this happened on Interstate 99 northbound, I was able to extrapolate that the events took place in Pennsylvania, and Officer Clyde works for the Mifflin County Police Department. Though this video doesn't tell us when the footage was declassified, it does say that it was declassified at some point. If we assume it's a 25-year waiting period, it would have been declassified on April 12th, 2012, which is the farthest date on the timeline. Now that I've said everything I have to say about the actual story, I want to praise the visuals and direction as well, and talk about how some of the stuff he did works. Thankfully, he uploaded a few videos describing his work process, and obviously that helps me tremendously. To me, the main thing that stands out in Spectre's FNAF VHS above all the rest is the use of mocap, or motion capture, and green screens. More specifically, the way in which he uses them. The motion capture was used for two different things, for camera movements and for characters. Now, it's possible to emulate natural camera movement with other means, such as what's done in Kane Pixel's Backrooms series. However, Spectre opts for a simpler approach, which involves using an app on his phone to use actual camera movements in his films. The motion capture is also used for realistic character animation, which is often done in high-budget films and video games. Their methods are rather expensive and tedious, but Spectre's method is a little easier than that. He uses an Xbox Kinect as well as some light software and hardware to record real movements that then get translated onto the models in Blender. For the limited amount of resources he has at his disposal, I'd say that the motion capture animation looks pretty good when actually in use, and I'm sure he'll get even better at it in the future. For the shots that involve hands and arms up close, green screens are used instead of motion capture, either in the form of a literal green monitor screen or a single color blanket. He then transfers that onto a plane within Blender so that it can be affected by lighting within the scene. When I was first watching the series, I didn't even realize these shots were green screened, and I just thought it was a really good looking arm and hand model. So I'd say it did a pretty good job incorporating into the scenes and coming off as believable. Another interesting thing about the visual aspects is that the Blender compositing used is super similar, if not identical, to that used often by Squimpus and Baddington's FNAF VHS tapes, which I think was a pretty neat detail to point out. Now, for the final portion, I'd actually like to talk about the shots themselves. In my opinion, Spectre's direction and sense for camera placement is nothing short of immaculate. In particular, the shots towards the end of Paranormal Investigation with Freddy and Maintenance Report with Bonnie are, in my opinion, by far the best. Spectre knows how to compose an amazing horror shot. His jump scares are also top-notch in my opinion. The jump scares don't feel cheap or unearned, which is what a lot of people would criticize with horror films. The tension and atmosphere that gets built up throughout the film makes you feel as if it actually deserves to use a jump scare. I'm also a pretty big fan of the sets. I think my favorite are probably the abandoned mall in Police Archive, which kind of gives off a liminal space backrooms kind of feeling, which is probably what he was going for. And the Freddy's that's placed in a strip mall. It's so convincing that it looks like where a Chuck E. Cheese could be in the real world. It's really well done. Hopefully we get to see more awesome directional choices and visual awesomeness like he's done already in future episodes. It's pretty obvious to me that Spectre is still in the early stages of building a much larger narrative than any of us probably initially expected. It seems like the direction it's taking is to show us stuff the games don't, whilst still staying true to the major plot points that everyone recognizes, at least until Police Archive, which seems to be a crazy deviation, and I mean that in a good way. Overall, I think the production of Spectre's FNAF VHS is truly one of a kind, and it has only just begun to truly show off what it's capable of relative to its contemporaries. It seems like Spectre was rather busy animating cutscenes for Grizzly's VR in the months following the release of Police Archive, and I, for one, am looking forward to whatever Spectre has next in store for his FNAF VHS series. Let me know in the comments if there are any other FNAF VHS series you'd like me to cover on the channel, because I actually really enjoy this genre and would like to cover more, so let me know. If you had a good time, it would mean the world if you subscribed for more content like this and turned on post notifications so you never miss a video. If you want to support me further, $5 channel members get early access to new videos, and you can also follow my socials and join the community Discord server. That being said, that's going to be all from me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time.